Hi guys, welcome back to the Confused Millennial podcast. My name's Rachel, your host and the blogger behind theconfusedmillennial.com, and this is episode 20. It is part 2 of my interview with Danielle Paige. So if you haven't already listened to last week's episode, I definitely would recommend hitting pause on this and going back and listening to last week's episode, where she broke down everything about our Saturn returns and really just dove deep into what the meaning of Saturn in your chart is. So even if you're already past your Saturn return, she goes into why it's important and so much more than 3-year span that I know I thought Saturn return was solely a 3-year span in our lives, but it's actually so much more. And there's so many more things happening between your first Saturn return in your late 20s and your next Saturn return, which happens 30 years later. So even if you're through it, highly recommend. If you haven't gone through it yet, even more highly recommend to understand what's coming for you. And if you're currently in it, well, I'm in it with you. So yeah, definitely, once again, highly recommend if you kind of missed that one. But today we are going to go into part 2 of my interview with Danielle. I'm so excited for it. Like I mentioned last week, we are covering a lot of ground. We are talking about the high side and shadow side of each of the astrological signs and how to use this information in your life, from Mercury in retrogrades to dealing with coworkers to your relationships and even understanding yourself a little bit more. We talk about what the nodes are in your chart. So if you haven't done your chart yet, I strongly suggest you do. If you don't know how to do that, again, I broke down all the instructions for that at the start of last week's episode. So definitely go back to that if you missed it. And we talk about why the nodes are so important to your soul and to your life path. We get into a little bit about mediumship and the importance of staying grounded and strong as you're developing that gift. Pluto in transit, Chiron conjuncting the sun meanings, the moon in your chart, and so much more, including what the nutshell gist of each of the 12 houses in your chart's meaning is. So definitely cover a ton of ground in this episode. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome. This is a podcast all about helping you embrace more of who you are while navigating this whole adulting thing. And as you guys will hear during this episode, I have many sighs of relief as I embrace a little bit more of who I am, from my reactionary side to feeling different. And I hope that you guys find some of those same sighs of relief as you dive down this astrological rabbit hole with me. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right back into the interview with Danielle. Enjoy. Well, since we've been talking so much about shadow, I want to talk. So one of the times that I first found Danielle and I was like, oh my God, she's literally the most relatable astrologer I've ever come across. She was doing an Insta Live and she talked, we were going into Mercury in retrograde and she really just was like, this is not a big deal. Everyone needs to calm down.
I'm like, no bullshit.
Yeah. But you gave I want to say almost the high side and the shadow side, one sentence explanation for each of the signs. And I would love if we could just do that really quickly for everyone. So that way they can just understand their potential and then what they're working with sometimes and just kind of have that out for them.
Yeah. Okay. So Mercury retrograde, this would be, I'm just going to do it for the signs in general.
Yeah.
Because it's not really attached to Mercury retrograde.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
let's see if I could remember all the signs here. Okay. So Aries. So the shadow side of Aries is it's all about me. I want everything first. I don't care about anyone else. I'm just going to push forward and go. Mm-hmm. The higher octave of Aries is I'm a leader. I have courage. I'm going to step in. I'm going to jump in first. I'm going to show you guys how it's done. And so I'm going to lead the way for you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Taurus, lower octave, shadow side of Taurus is there's so many. I'm like, where do I begin? Because I have this. I am stubborn. I'm going at my own pace. Actually, that's okay. It's more that I'm stubborn. I don't want to listen to what anyone else says. I'm going to be so obsessed with clothes and shoes, and I'm just going to shop and material everything and get so absorbed in all that stuff. Mm-hmm. The higher expression of Taurus is I am calm under the pressure. I am a beautiful, oak tree in the middle of a hurricane. I have gifts that I'm going to express to the outside world. These are my innate gifts that I want to share and help people. And I'm going to teach you how to enjoy the sensual pleasures of life. Because I'm in this human body, so I might as well enjoy it.
Yeah.
Gemini. Oh God, that's an easy one for Gemini. Sorry, Geminis, I love you, but shadow side of Gemini is lying, chatty. Oh, did you know this person did this thing? Da 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 da. You have got this person does this, right? So Gemini is just chatty, and they little like white lies. I wouldn't say it's like the biggest lies in the world, but little white lies. The higher expression of Gemini is saying, I am a networker. I am going to connect you. Oh, you need this? I know a person for this. I'm going to connect you to. I'm going to bring people together in community, and we're going to create a school, create a system, create a community, a network, so we all are connected because we all can help each other. Cancer. Cancer shadow energy is. We were talking about this before. Why does everyone hate me? I just feel it's like. It's all, I'm being a victim, I'm being sad, I'm being blah, 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 blah. Ugh, everyone's against me. I can't do anything right. Oh, everyone's ever hate me. It's my fault. Why is it my fault? Why do you do? Yeah. Somebody hug me, right? Yeah. Okay. I have a Cancer moon, so.
I have Cancer sun.
Yeah.
We feel you guys.
I'm not making fun. I'm just, enjoying the ride of life here. The higher expression is, let me help nurture you and show you how to be beautiful and whole and happy. And let me cook for you. And I mean, that's a little cliche, but it happens.
Yeah.
Let me cook for you. Let me nurture you and feel like you're emotionally safe. I have you. We had a joke at my retreat that I just did in Mykonos. And this girl was on a boat and she was like, I hope I don't fall off. And I'm like, I yelled out, and she's like, I want to be cremated if I die. And I'm like, don't worry, I got you. So that was like our joke. That was like our saying, like we have each other's back. Like, I got you. And like, that's Cancer energy. It's like mama bear. Like, I got you. So like, I'm like that with all my clients. Like, I have you, don't worry. Okay. So next one is Leo. Leo energy shadow side is like, hey, look at me, everyone, I'm the best. Oh my God, let me take 500 selfies and post of myself, and I look really good. Did you see how great I look in this picture? Oh my God, everyone focus on me. Everyone, I'm gonna be on stage. Everyone watch me. Let's go. The higher expression of Leo is saying, hey guys, it's super fun. I'm gonna be on stage, but I'm gonna excite you and empower you, and I'm gonna lead you so you can light your own life up and be excited. And Leo does it with joy and with fun. So they're supposed to be on stage, but they're supposed to be on stage to show their joy so that we could all tap into their joy as well. Okay. Virgo, shadow side of Virgo. Excuse me, did you mean to do that? Why are you wearing that? What does that look like? Oh, wait, I'm going to be super critical about every single thing. Nitpicking, super critical, over-organized, and super anal about everything. The higher expression is Virgo is refinement, is helping us heal, Virgo gets a bad rap, but it's really beautiful. It's all about the mind, body, vitamins, health, could be spiritual as well, just depends. But really helping us refine and improve and fix and, bring us to another level of our being. So it's really beautiful. And then we have Libra. Libra, the shadow side is, yeah, I don't mind getting hit in the face 10 times as long as it makes you happy. That's Libra's. Like, I don't know. Libra's the bicycle. Sorry, Libra is the bicycle built for two. So it's all about relationships and not stepping into their power because it wants to keep the peace. So it's sacrificing their power for the peace of everyone else. But the higher octave of Libra is all about saying, you know what, I'm going to learn about you and we're going to do this together because we're in relationship. So this is what I need and this is what you need. So let's bring both of our needs together and make something really beautiful and help other people too because of both of us coming together. Then we have Scorpio, easy, shadow side Scorpio. I'm going to fucking kill you. Or like overly sexual, like having sex with like everyone. Because Scorpio, every sign is ruled by something. Scorpio is ruled by the genitals. So listen, it is part of your journey to have sex because that's how you transmute and transform and your power. So it's great, but it's like using sex as manipulation. That's when it gets bad. And being like, you hurt me, I'm going to cut you, Or like stalking, like a major stalking. Okay, but that's actually a gift of Scorpio, so I shouldn't say that too much. So the higher octave of Scorpio is literally transmuting everything on this physical plane. Not in the sense of like going outside your body, but like transmuting the physical realm so you can work with other things and letting go of things that are no longer serving you and help people transform, help yourself transform. Seeing through being like an amazing psychologist and seeing people's motives and understanding. So you could be a great like FBI agent. You'd be really good at that.
I would be really good at that. I would be so really good at that.
Yeah.
When you talked about the high side of Scorpio before, you said magicians. They're the biggest force. They can turn anything into gold. They dive into...
Oh, you have my thing up?
I literally wrote this down because I was like, this makes so much sense. They dive in, purge it all, and rise like the phoenix.
Woo!
You are on fire. I only wrote down the ones for me, so that's all I have for you.
It's true. Like, they are the most powerful, and I love Scorpio. And I have 3 planets in my 8th house, so that's what people think. I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, my little innocent Cancer moon and a Taurus sun. But I'm like, behind the... I'm like, yeah, I can create magic because I love that transformation. I love going in deep to that shadows and pulling that shit out and
It's
love
so
it.
cool.
Like, I love it. Oh, the one more thing I'll add about this is the shadow side of Scorpio could be too much drama.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure the drama,
Definitely.
Okay. Sagittarius. Okay. Sagittarius, the shadow side is I'm not committing to anything. I'm just going to jump on a plane, go here, go do this. I just want to travel around the world. I'm not going to, have any possessions, which is not a shadow side, but it's more like I'm just going to go here, dip my toe and leave here, meet these people, leave here, and not really forming attachments or not. I shouldn't say attachment, not forming relationships with people because you're kind of doing your own thing and also being very preachy. Like, I know the sky is green because it is and everyone's going to listen to it and there's no other way. The sky is polka dot or whatever you want, So it's being too preachy. The higher octave is saying, you know what, I am actually a guide in this lifetime. I am here to enlighten you. So let me share what I've learned from my travels, from my wisdom, from meeting people. And let me open your mind and your consciousness to this other way of life. So beautiful. Capricorn, the shadow side is being very bossy. Leo could be bossy too, but any fixed sign could be bossy. But Capricorn's not a fixed sign, but it could be very bossy, micromanaging, managing everything around them, and being a workaholic. Like so much work, and also putting that. I call it the Great Wall of China. So putting up the wall and not being comfortable at all with expressing their emotions. And I know some people are going to be like, I'm a Capricorn and I cry all the time. But you can have like 10 planets in Pisces. And so like that would make you super emotional. I just psychically, I'm like, someone listening to that is going to be saying that because I felt that. Yeah. Especially with Capricorn. So the higher expression is you are a leader, different than Aries. Aries is a leader like that jumps out and does it first. Capricorn does not jump out, does it first. They learn from the ground up. They slow and steady walk up the mountain. They are learning from all the sages of the world, and they are a master in their craft, and they are literally stepping into their highest self, their highest being, which is really beautiful. And they can really create like be a CEO and create businesses for people to bring everyone together to give people jobs, and they can I don't mean this in a negative way. Like they're the puppet master, not in a negative way, but like as into like humanity. You know? That's a higher expression. Aquarius, so fun. I love Aquarius. I mean, I love them all. I shouldn't say that. I love them all.
When you said Aquarius before, you said that you
I really do. It's because I have Uranus opposing my sun, so I have Aquarius flavor. And my dad's an Aquarius, and I seem to meet a lot of Aquarius men. So because they're all like, they're just like unique in their own way, and I actually love people's authenticity. Like, if it's weird, but you're still doing it, like you're fucking amazing. I love it. Just do what you need to do. Love that. Okay, so Aquarius, the shadow side is not being attached to anything, not feeling anything, being totally void of emotion. And I know anyone that's an Aquarius can feel it. You have Aquarius moon, so you, at moments, you can get
I think that's really what helped me balance my Scorpio with being so reactionary was that I started to embrace more of my Aquarius, and I can feel myself detached more. I'm like, oh, wow, okay, so that's what this is. That's very cool.
Yes. That's why it's great when we have a balance of things in the chart because it helps us. So the higher expression of, and also Aquarius, the shadow side is being a rebel, being like, they're supposed to do their own thing in their unique way, but the shadow side is like, I'm going to piss you off when I'm doing it, The higher expression is be revolutionary. Like I always think of Mark Zuckerberg when he created Facebook, like people are probably like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I'm telling you, people said that. When I first heard Twitter, I'm like, this is lame. No one's going to use it. That's what I said. Okay, little was I wrong. Luckily, I wasn't like an investor or anything. But it's people that are cutting edge and they see the future, not in like a psychic, like here's a crystal ball way, and saying, you know, this is the rhythm that we need to go to. This is where we're moving to. If we don't make these changes in the world, we're going to struggle. So they disrupt tradition not to be an asshole, but they disrupt it because we need to make improvements in the world and how we're shifting and how we're going. So they are revolutionary, their thoughts, and very cutting edge. And then we get to beautiful Pisces. Oh, Pisces, I love you. I just want to give you all a hug. So Pisces is so beautiful. The shadow side, and there's a lot of shadow side with Pisces. Their shadow side is they are totally escaping from the world. So there could be a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol. It could be a lot of sex. It could be food. It could be just sitting in the room and staring at the wall for hours and feeling sorry for themselves and not doing anything. So I have a lot of, this is important to tell me, I have a lot of Pisces energy in my chart. And I actually feel like I spent my childhood feeling sorry for myself, Cancer moon, Pisces energy, and just not knowing what to do and like laying in my bed and crying. Like I've that's like so many of my memories. And now I just understand my energy. Like I wish I had an astrologer when I was younger to help me understand that like, oh, I'm just in the shadow energy. So I just want to say that because I know a lot of Pisces, they struggle with being here on this earth plane because you are one of the most psychics and so psychic energy. And basically being psychic means you're just open to energy, and Pisces basically has no boundaries, which is beautiful because that's where you can talk to fairies and transmute. And you would rather be sitting on a cloud with the fairies and the unicorns than actually being here on earth plane, because the earth plane is very dense. And so it is hard to be here. And that's how I felt all growing up, but I didn't know how to place it. So Pisces escapes a lot and they cry and they feel sad, but you guys are here to literally, help. You have the most compassion. So you see people suffering and you're here to help. You're here to, be the bridge between the spiritual life and the material world and literally bring all the compassion of like the homeless or whatever cause you're passionate about and to help people. And we need your hearts. But the only thing you need to watch out for, Pisces, and anyone that has strong Pisces, so Pisces moon, Pisces sun, Pisces rising, or south node, north node Pisces, you have to make sure that people aren't using you because you are doing it out of the goodness of your heart, and you just see their light, but you don't actually see their truth of where they're at right now. Because I used to rescue all my boyfriends until I realized, oh my God, I'm picking guys that are like wounded and I'm fixing them. I need to get paid for this because I'm actually really good at transforming people. Why am I doing this to my boyfriends? So this was before astrology.
Oh gosh.
So there you go.
I love that. Oh my gosh. I just got chills, especially on that Pisces thing, because Eric has Pisces moon.
Oh, you're so beautiful. Yeah.
And he literally, all of those vices, sex, drugs.
Oh yeah. All Pisces
food.
have it.
That was basically like his mid-20s that got him into rehab and everything. He was full tilt on all of that. And to just see how he uses the high side of it today is just so beautiful. So you talked about nodes.
Yeah.
What are nodes? They've come up a few times.
Nodes are, that's like 10 hours in itself. But I'll give you the abridged version. Nodes. Okay, so nodes in the chart they're not planets, they're points in space. They're aligned with the ecliptic. I won't get into all the technical, but what they do, so here's the thing. When I started studying astrology, nodes weren't that popular. Astrology's been around forever, but from what I saw, but intuitively, I was drawn towards nodes. Spirit told me to look at the nodes. And then I was realizing, wait a minute, you can't look at a birth chart without looking at the nodes. And now I talk about all the time, everyone knows that like I'm obsessed with the nodes. I love it. And people are talking about it. Obviously, I didn't make it up, so I'm not sitting here. But like, people need to understand that the nodes are the most important thing, one of the most important things in the chart, because they tell you about. So there's two nodes. You have a south node. Well, there's two nodes of the moon. There's nodes of all the other planets too. That's complicated. But we're talking about the nodes of the moon. And so we have a south node, which is past life, early this life, and your deeply ingrained behavioral patterns. So it's your intrinsic traits, characteristics, what's natural for you, what you came into this life doing. Your north node shows me, I can look at it in 2 seconds and see your path, and that's what I got psychic information too. So I already saw your node, but then we were talking, I wrote down that psychic information about your journey. you're going to be doing something with like homes, families, homes, like children. There's something there, but that could develop later on.
Everybody has always told me
Really?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaman even said, because I asked him the last time I saw him, I was like, has my career changed? Do you see me working with adults or children? He's like, children.
Yep.
Everybody tells me.
There you have it. Shaman and I are on the same page. Love him so much. He helped me so much. I've gone to him. He's incredible. Okay, so the North Node shows this is what you promised the universe that you're going to move towards. This is your light. It's your true node. It's your purpose in this lifetime. Why did you incarnate? So here's the thing. It's not like one thing that we do in our lifetime and then we're in our North Node or we're in our South Node. It is this evolutionary journey. The node is also your purpose. I mean, we have a lot of purpose. It's not like one thing. It doesn't say, oh, you'll be a hairdresser, an accountant, a plumber. It's not like that. It's your soul's purpose, the vibration that you said, I need to move into. So what happens is we play out our South Node all throughout our life. The idea is to let go of the shadow energy of the South Node, still use the gifts of it, and then move into the North Node. So for you, let's talk about yours. You have a South Node in Leo. It's in your, hold on one second. Okay, so it's in your 10th house. So career stuff is actually stuff that you've done before. It's actually very natural for you. And actually to be seen and to kind of put yourself out there. No wonder we were talking and you had those bosses and you were like, this isn't working for me because you're the boss.
Yeah.
Like you've done this before. So that's how I was too. And that's why I'm like, I cannot work for anyone else.
No, I'm not meant to work for somebody.
I'm like, nobody should be telling me what to do unless we're in bed. And that's it. And then I'm totally down with that and okay with that.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. But for you too, it's like, no, you're the boss and you've come from that. So here's the thing. You have gifts. You have a South Node in Leo. So you have gifts you're very creative, whether you realize it or not, you are super creative. You're a leader. You're empowerer. You might, I don't know. We haven't talked about this. I'm saying there could be moments when you're like shy and don't want to put yourself out there, but your soul is actually used to putting yourself out there. Like you've done this, you've run the show, you're boss lady. Okay. So that's some of your gifts. What the shadow side is, it's could be Leo's like, it's all about me. It's all about me. I'm just doing this so I get recognition, I get credit. In this lifetime, you're moving actually a couple things. So your North Node is in Aquarius. So you're moving to, which is, I'll say this with a grain of salt because it's funny when I see this. You're moving towards less attachment of things, but then you have all this Scorpio energy. So it's Scorpio attaches, but Scorpio is actually learning to, like I wrote, burn down because you're going to get something new again. Yeah. Okay. So you're learning non-attachment in this lifetime. That's one of your karmic lessons of why you incarnated, which is not, again, you're not going to master it today, tomorrow, in a month. It's your life journey.
That's interesting to me because I went on like a 2-year no spend challenge early in my 20s.
I know what?
No spend challenge.
Okay, yeah.
So like I used to shop and be so obsessed with the material. Like there was no other. And then for 2 years in my early 20s, I did not shop at all. I did not buy a single new thing. Like totally just turned away from all of the material. And like it wasn't until I started dating my husband, who's much more of a spender and likes all of the finer things in life. Where I was like, okay, I'll loosen my grip. Like I'll still explore it all, but I don't feel as attached to things
so you're
as I
moving
used
into
to.
as you used to. Yeah. If it just depends on when people come to me where they're at. Because if we would have had this talk 10 years ago and I would have said that, you're like, no. You probably been like, oh no, I don't.
Oh my god, I was obsessed with.
Yeah,
I would,
and you wouldn't even probably listen to me because I deal with everyone and no matter where they are in life, and you wouldn't hear it. You would hear it, but then it would go out when you're out the other.
Yeah, I tell my friends today, like in the blogging world, that I literally would go shopping every single Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in my teen years, and they're like, seriously, because I will literally, when I like something, I buy 4 of it, and I just wear it for every day of the week now, and I'm like, I don't feel like making a choice because I work from home.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's so interesting to me.
Yeah, so that's a big one. So here's the thing. It's material stuff, but it's also emotional stuff.
Okay.
Of letting go of people and experiences that no longer serve you.
That's the one I feel like I'm definitely in.
And I mean, we're all working. Like I'm working on my North Node. Like we're all, it's our life journey. So we don't master it and get to a finish line. It's just we step more into it. So as you get older, you're going to be more Aquarian energy. And again, that is doing stuff for humanity. Using your gifts for people. So a good example I always use for this is like, let's say that you're an artist and you're a painter. in the past with Leo, it would have been like, okay, you're going to paint and then you're going to get $1 million for your thing and your face is going to be everywhere. And it's just you get the money and then you're sitting on a beach. Okay, now let's say you have that gift and you're a painter. You're going to paint, get the money, maybe partner with people like some community, some organization, or donate it. So it's like you're getting the money, but you're using it to improve the world in some way. Now, it's also in your 4th house, and it's conjunct your angle of home and family, which is tells me a couple things. Yes, home and family, like literal. So your journey is to become more domestic in this lifetime, and children, and be like that's not to say like you have to stay home and like stay in the kitchen. Like, I'm not saying that, but like it's more of the emotional pattern. So you're learning to go into your inner world. So you've spent many lifetimes being boss lady. Now you're still going to use that in this lifetime. Like, you'll do stuff from home, like you're doing, but you're moving into really bringing in like, how can I go deeper into my emotions and how could I tend to them and how could I understand myself on a way deeper level than I've ever had to. So that's going to be throughout your life because you're really tending to your heart on it's energy of Cancer. And you have a Cancer Venus and your Cancer Sun. So there are a lot of themes for you of really tending to your heart. And it's amazing that your husband is the way we talked about it. He's emotional and sensitive. So that's beautiful because that's helping you.
Yeah, it does.
That's why we have these contracts.
Yeah. I mean, I remember our first ever fight. I was totally like in my shadowy Scorpion energy. I was like, we're waking up, like we're definitely like, this is over. And he's like, no, we're gonna talk about this, and like we're gonna talk about like what it is I need and what it is you need, and like how to move forward together as a team. I was like, wait, what?
You're like, what? No, I don't understand.
I was like, what are you talking about? Like there was a fight. We end things now. Like that's what happens.
Yeah. That's total Scorpio. Yeah. I've done that stuff all too.
Yeah. So it's definitely interesting. That makes so much sense though to me. Everything that you just said. Yeah.
And so it's going to be a lot about, again, working with children or working with working with families. Let me see. Yeah, I think you're gonna be creating something that doesn't exist before, so you can't get the manual for it. Like, sure, there's coaches if you want to help with like business stuff, but like your thing is going to be new, but it's coming from within and it's coming from I believe your psychic abilities and your ability to transmute, your ability to read people, your ability to understand like souls on a deeper level, and help them transform, like take something and make it into something else.
It's interesting you said that because I just said to Eric the other day, because like the theme of kids has just been coming up a lot. And I said to Eric the other day, I was like, I don't know. I feel like when we're parents, I'm going to end up creating my own parenting technique and writing a book about it. Like I just like told him, I was like, I feel like... You already
know because you're in tune.
Yeah. I was just like, my entire life, everyone's told me you're here to be a mother. You're here to like work with children. You're here to like help people with something humanitarian and some sort of like... thing. And I was just like, so when you say that I'm here to create something totally new, it's interesting because like that's what had come up for me like a couple of weeks ago in like a meditation. I was like, I have no idea why I'm thinking this, but like yeah
it's not about you in this lifetime. Like you're gonna get the appreciation and the acknowledgement for sure, but it's not about you. It's about what you're creating. And so North Node in Aquarius is like, I mean, no pressure, but like Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, like how they did stuff for humanity. They sacrificed self. So I'm not saying you have to sacrifice and be miserable, but like you're creating that bridge for change ripples in the world. Yeah. That's a total Aquarian energy.
I always ask myself, like, why would I choose the parents that I chose in this life?
Yeah, because we chose our parents. Yep.
And so like, if you've been reading the blog for a
while,
family
stuff,
you know that like I didn't talk to my mom for almost all of my 20s and my biological father I hadn't talked to in 18 years. And so like, I would always like, there was definitely a lot of stuff with family and I was just like, I don't know why, but I feel like I learned so much having them as parents and learned 100%. So much about being my own parent and learned so much about all sorts of different things, talking to people where I just feel like that makes all of it makes so much sense. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I could also see you doing mediumship as well.
I want to. I've been talking to spirits more and more lately. Like
because I'm getting that right now.
Yeah, it's I would love to develop that gift more.
Yeah, it's all going to happen just naturally. So just let it evolve. That's the best thing I could say to help you is that it's already there. It's like how it unfolds and let it. But the thing is, with mediumship and all this, you have to be very grounded in your truth and connected because you are stepping into the karma of everyone else and you're stepping into the energy and you have to be really like a strong energetic, That's why I know that I'm practicing my mediumship, but it's been a longer journey because they're strengthening my energy body because it's just too much for me.
That makes
still.
a lot of sense.
So that's the thing. We all have these gifts. It's just not everyone is aware or uses it, right? But I could see the other end, and I've learned so much is really strengthening yourself, because otherwise you're so mutable already, like, because you're sensitive and taking on people's energy, you're going to think that their shit is your shit, and then it's going to make you go crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to be very strong in your...
It's interesting that you say that, because like, especially this past year, that's what I feel like so much of this has been, where like I'm getting a pain in my shoulder and I'm saying like, oh, do you have a pain in your shoulder right now? Okay, that's not mine. It's entering my physical body. Right. Or like I'm getting a weird thought and I'm like, are you thinking about this? They're like, yeah, how did you know? I'm like, okay, so this isn't mine. Having that leave
Well, at least you're aware of that.
Yeah. And so definitely I've already noticed that's starting to happen. Oh yeah,
it's going to be more too.
Yeah. And it was interesting because I forget what you were saying earlier, but it brought up something for me. There was a big shift for me towards the end of last year with like a lot of my friendships where I still absolutely love them. I care about them, but it wasn't really in my best interest to stay in those friendships. No. And I felt like if I had stayed in the friendships and not had spoken up or said anything, I was hindering their evolution too.
That's beautiful.
And so I had to have some really interesting conversations. I still love them. It's not like I wouldn't be friends if they came back around, but I had to have some things where like, you need to evolve a little bit more, like, and because this is what I'm looking for in a relationship right now. And if you can't give that to me, then I have to move on. That's
really enlightened and empowered.
Yeah. So it's interesting when you're saying like, you're here to help people like transmute into their stuff. And like, I was like, these aren't really conversations. Like I felt weird saying it because it's like, who am I to tell somebody like they need to go ahead and develop this part of themselves?
I don't think that we're ever really supposed to tell people anything unless they ask us. Like,
yeah. When they had asked me, that's a good point.
Then that's okay. They had asked me. But yeah, I think that there's a lot in the spiritual community that people say things and we're like, I didn't actually ask you for that.
Yes,
you know?
Definitely. No. They had asked me like, what?
Then that's beautiful.
Yeah. And so it was like it was definitely me having to get okay with like using that muscle when somebody asked me a direct question about like what was happening and like being completely honest about where I was at. Right. And
that's all you could do is be honest with yourself, and how anyone else takes it. It's not, it's, you know, it does sounds harsh, but it's not our problem. Like if we're aligned with our truth, then it doesn't matter if they love it or they hate it.
Yes.
It really doesn't.
It really doesn't. Oh, I love that. You guys need to like seriously just sit in that, especially as confused millennials, whether it's the boss, the significant other, the roommate, like when you're living your truth and you're coming from a place of love and compassion, like it's their responsibility to handle their reaction. They're choosing that.
100%. That stuff I wish I realized in my 20s, but you know, it's harder. It's okay. It's not like, it just takes time to sometimes really step into that, you know, and that's okay because that's our journey in life. And that's why I shared my whole story in the beginning, because I want people to realize I was confused as fuck, right? Like I had no idea what I was doing. And it wasn't just like, oh yes, I just woke up one day and I'm so enlightened and I'm an astrologer. And no, I had to work at it. So yeah, it's the journey in life.
Beautiful. I love that. Yeah. So anything else on nodes for us? I know we went all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, nodes is, you could go look in your chart. You won't see the south node. It's not listed, but it's always opposite the north node. And the north node, it has a little T in the middle. So it's like a horseshoe, but upside down and has a T. So that will tell you a lot about what you're here for and your purpose. So I usually, when I do client sessions, I usually always start with the north node, south node, because that tells me about their soul beyond this physical plane. And then we get into the human stuff. But like, I need to understand what your soul carries on from other dimensions, other realities. Like your soul, we're a fragment of our soul right now. So I need to understand what is the big lesson for right now. I mean, you could be on another star system working on something else, but right here, you're in front of me. So what are you working on right now in this lifetime? And I need to see where your soul came from, what you've struggled with, and whatnot. Actually, this just popped in my head. I also look to people's 12th house, and it shows me stuff about past lives. And you have Libra there, so you have actually some relationship stuff. That you like lost like a partner, which is probably
what I told you about.
Yes,
Eric.
Actually, you did tell me that, but I didn't put that together until I looked at your chart. That's funny. So I'm not just saying this because of what you told me, but I'm actually looking at your chart right now. Yeah, and so you're here to balance that. So one of your like Achilles point, like one of your things is wanting. It might not be obvious, but like being too dependent in relationship or like wanting that and needing that, like, okay, if as long as you're here, then I can do it, you know, kind of thing. Like that might not be obvious, but it's like under the surface.
I definitely have felt that in my life.
Yeah. But you do have also gifts of like, you're actually more fair than you might come off.
Yeah.
Like
People are always constantly surprised. They always think I'm judging them. They always think like I'm being like really like, going to be really reactionary. People are like, oh, I wouldn't want to get on your bad side. I was like, honestly, my bad side's not that bad. I just kind of like tell you the truth and then I detach and go about my life.
Yeah.
Like,
you're very like fair and like, you just want, like there's a part of you that you'll develop even more that wants it to be like fair and beautiful and balanced, even though you have that Scorpio stuff. But that's, again, it's shadow. Like you're moving out of that, you know, into more of like that peaceful.
That makes so much sense to me. It's so cool that that's actually in there because I'm always like, that was probably one of the toughest things about me up to this point in my life is people having just this big misjudgment about me, you know, and it's always felt like very misunderstood and very isolating. And I'm like, no, I really am probably one of the fairest people you'll meet because I see all sides of it. And I really do believe in taking somebody else's perspective to see where they were coming from and like finding compassion for it. And so it's always so interesting to me.
Yeah, it's there.
And so it's so cool that it's actually there because like so many people are like, oh, I don't want to have this conversation. She's going to be like awful. And I'm like, I'm really not. Like people, like Eric's family has been like scared of me and like I'm scared of me having conflict with me. I'm like, just because you see the Scorpio, because that's like what the world sees. We
have so many sides, and that's important to know because you have this. It's locked in. Like that's why I said it might not be obvious and on there, but it's part of your gift. It's hidden. It's there.
Oh, that's so cool. See, I am rational.
You know, it's you're going through a lot of transits right now that are like, you're going through your Saturn return, you're starting it. You have Pluto opposing your Venus, which is basically transforming your relationship and like just developing into a new way of relating. But it's also for you, like internally, it's about how you see yourself and how you use your gifts. So here's the thing. I'm going to tell you something that might not be so obvious right now, but you're going to look back and see, okay, I can understand. And I only say that because when we're in the middle of it, we can't fully see it. We can be like, yeah, that makes sense, but we can't fully see it. But I can see that you're right now learning about your gifts and what they are, and they're going to come out even more. So I would say like 2-3 years, not saying that nothing's going to happen, but in 2-3 years after this Pluto transit, you're going to be so much like more deeply connected to like actual like your psychic abilities and be able to use them. But like you're in the process, it's like transmuting and pulling back the layers right now with that Pluto transit.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Oh.
Yeah. The Pluto transit's hard though. Like it's intense. But for you, you have all that Scorpio energy natally. So it's probably not as hard for you as it is for other people.
Okay.
Like for someone that doesn't have Scorpio and goes through a Pluto transit, like they're like, oh my God, you know, covers over their head. Like it's intense.
I mean, I still feel like that a lot.
But yeah, you will because you'll feel this energy.
Yeah.
But it's still better for you.
Okay. I can't even imagine.
Because you live in that zone anyways, you know?
Yeah.
You have a packed 8th house. 1, 2, 3, 4 planets in the 8th house. It being your sun sign and Venus, and you're a Scorpio rising. So that's like so much Scorpio energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why you're going to be using it for magic and transmutation.
That's so exciting.
Yeah,
Oh.
and you're a healer too. One thing could I add one more thing? I mean, there's like 1,000. I could sit here till next Christmas, you know. But so you're born with your sun conjunct Chiron. Now, when I see that Chiron, I don't know, it's asteroid, not asteroid. It's whatever. That's a whole up for grabs. But Chiron is the wounded healer. And it is where we have a wound in the chart, but it's where we can actually help other people. So when people have Chiron conjunct their sun, they actually have a hard time being human, being in their body, because you feel like wounded. I feel like I'm not from here. I feel like an alien. Like, where am I from? Like, I don't know how to actually be here. Like, I feel different than everyone else.
You literally just took the words out of my mouth that I said to my mom when I was 16.
Oh,
literally. I said, I'm not like everyone else. You're not be here. I need to go to a therapist. There's something deeply wrong with me. I'm not.
But not wrong. But see,
I was 16.
That's what you said. Of course. That's why I love working with people that are young too. It's like, there's nothing wrong with you. You are different. So what you have this gift of, you're a metaphysical healer. And it's in the 8th house. So Chiron is different. Chiron's like, half, I'm totally going to go blank on the whole story. It's like half centaur, half human. So he felt wounded with the parts of him that, if I'm getting this right, he felt wounded with the parts of him that weren't like the human side, but it became his gift. So he became like a doctor, like a metaphysical healer, a teacher, and studying, and he helped people that felt his pain as well. So you have you know how to connect with people that feel different and don't know how to be here. And you are literally here to do things that are different. Like nothing traditional, like sitting in an office, sitting in your cubicle, 9 to 5, punching in, like hell to the no. And that's what I used to say growing up. I said, even when I was like 13, I was like, I did not come here to go sit in the car, drive to work, go push a bunch of papers, get yelled at by a boss and come home and do that all over again. Like, and I didn't even understand what I was saying, but I'm like, no, my mission is different. Like I'm supposed to like waken people up, but right. So you're doing the same thing. So you are supposed to do things in your own rhythm. So actually, I want to say this. My new tagline on my new website that's coming out soon, it's embody your soul's cosmic rhythm. And I love that for you because, especially all of this, it's about finding our own rhythm. So I wish I could say to your 16-year-old self, there's nothing wrong with you. You are special and you're beautiful and you have these gifts. So you might not fit into what society, but society's fucked up. Really so thank God you don't fit into the shit that, like, excuse my language, but it's true. Yeah. You are different because especially a lot of people your age and younger, you guys are coming in with way more consciousness than like my generation, even older, because you need to help the world. So you guys are light workers in a different way. Like you're indigo children and just way more enlightened. And so you're not supposed to do, because we can't keep doing the tradition. It's not working. Look at the world right now.
It's really not.
Look at the United States. So we can't even get started with that. But like, so you are here to shake things up. And so your pain is the collective's pain. And so you're here to, and vice versa. And so you're here to help people not feel like that, because it's actually a beautiful gift, but that also takes a lifetime,
Yeah, I definitely understand that. Yeah. Oh gosh, you guys, this is so cool. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
much. Is there anything else you want to add?
Oh my God, you can't ask an astrologer that, because I'm going to be like, there's this. Oh my God.
We can break it up into 2 episodes and we can talk about the houses, because I have questions about those just like for general education.
Oh my God, we could do that. We could do that. Let me think if there's anything else for your chart that's really prominent that would help people. We could talk about the moon or Mercury. What do you want to? You pick the moon, Mercury, or Mars. Which one do you want to talk about? Because I could talk about them all, but it's too much. So let's pick one.
Either the moon or Mercury.
Okay. Let's do the moon, because the moon is so deep. I will one day have a book on the moon, and I do not have a book anywhere close on the moon yet, because the moon is so deeper than we even think, and I will not do anything that I'm half-ass at, and I have to feel it. It's going to take me years, but one day I will have a book on the moon, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Because the moon is everything. So the moon is your deeply ingrained behavioral patterns, also like the South Node, because it's the nodes of the moon. It's your instincts. It's how you react to things. It's what you need to feel nurtured, what you need to feel safe. So you have a moon in Aquarius, which normally someone with a moon in Aquarius would be like, I don't know how to feel my feelings. Okay. Well, that might be it at moments, but you're also a Cancer sun, so that helps you. Okay. But you also have your moon opposing Mars. And so that gives you like a trigger happy. Like, so you might like get like knee jerk reactions with things, sometimes. So you have to be, mindful of that. But your moon is, at the end of the day, what you need. And your moon is in the 3rd house. So you need communication. You need talking. You need to share. You need banter. You need stuff that is totally avant-garde, totally different, totally off the wall. That sounds weird. Okay, that's even better. Like, I'm going to do this. Like, everyone's going left, I'm going right. Like, that's what you need to do. So that like literally lights your heart up.
Yeah, it really, really does. Like, I remember having a therapist in college, and he's like, it took me a really long time to realize that use weird as a compliment. I'm like, yeah, like the weirder the
Oh my
better.
God. First of all, in Europe, and a lot of places in Europe, psychologists use astrology to help them understand. I could get to stuff. Let me just say this. I could get to stuff in one session, in 1 hour, that might take sometimes a year in therapy, because it's right here. And also, they need to use more of their psychic abilities too.
They
so
really
if they did, they would, get out of the logical brain. But it's all right here.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's
a map of your soul. It's your first baby picture.
Oh, that's such a beautiful way to look at it.
Look at you. You're so cute. Look at those chubby cheeks.
I love it. Oh, so beautiful. So wait, can you break down what all of the houses are exactly? Like when you say the 1st house, the 2nd house, the 3rd house, like what's the meaning associated with each of them?
I'll just do a quick.
It's super quick.
Because I do this in my astrology course that I'm teaching in the fall, but we'll just do quick. So basically there are 12 houses in the chart, and each house relates to a different area of life. Okay. So the first house is self, kind of your image, how you present yourself. What people see, it's like athletic movement, your body kind of times. Second house is your money, your self-worth, your gifts. Third house is your mind, your thinking, your could be your community. They also say brothers and sisters, but yeah, I mean, there's karmically, it's connected to brothers and sisters if we go deep to look at past life stuff. But on a mundane level, it's like your thinking, your ability to speak and talk. Your fourth house is home and family and your inner world. Fifth house is children, creative self-expression, your joy, your pleasures. It's like fun sex, fifth house. Sixth house is what you do on a day-to-day basis, like your work, like not like if you're a doctor, it's like the stuff you do during the day at your job, not like being a doctor. Okay. It's like, what do? Do I take out the scalpel? I like, cut someone open. Like, what am I doing every day? It's also connected to your physical body, your health and your wellness, and like your routine. Your seventh house is relationships, marriage. That kind of stuff. Your eighth house that's a Scorpio house. So it's like intimacy, it's sex, it's death. Not like, it doesn't show when people are going to die. I don't do anything like that, but it's like death is in transformation, sex, and really merging with the other. So that's like the really sexual house, Ninth house is foreign travel and enlightenment, and it's also about consciousness and studying things of the world and what is my philosophy in life and how is God exist? Is there God? Am I God? Is God in us? What is religion? Is it important? Does it matter? How is it all connected? Right, all that stuff. 10th house is your image to the outside world, your career, your status, your standing. So how people see you as your authority figure in the outside world. Your 11th house is about friends and groups and networks, associations. It's also about your future dreams and your future wishes. It's the love that we actually receive too, and then what we give out, like how we could partner with like organizations to change the world. And the 12th house is very shadowy. It's past life, subconscious, dreams, a lot of dreams. It's everything we're suppressing. And it's stuff we brought in from past life. The 12th house is the shit you go to therapy for. All of us. It doesn't matter. It's all of us. We're all bringing stuff in. I like to say I was born with like 10 luggage cases. That's just the story, and every year I've been getting rid of another one, know. So it's just, we all have it. It's just, it's stuff that my soul has so much shit that I brought in, because I came here to really redo. This lifetime is a do-over for me, so I came here to redo a lot of stuff and make it right and fix it and help people. So it's like there was a lot of shit. So it's okay. That's why I'm very open with people, because I want people to understand, like, it's okay. It's the human journey. Yeah. We all have stuff.
Yeah. We've all done things. This is just about embracing more of ourselves. It's like the Confused Millennials tagline, embracing who you are while navigating this whole adulting thing. Like, we're all doing it together.
We're all doing it. We're all in it. It's humanity.
I love
Team
that.
Humanity.
Team humanity.
Yes. Seriously.
So how can people work with you? I know there's a lot of different ways. You have courses. You sometimes open up one-on-ones. Like, how does everyone? Yeah,
so lots of different ways. So you can go to my website. It's healingpaige.com, Paige. Let's see. So right now I have a course going on that's closed, but I have a course. It's called School for Your Soul. So I'm teaching people. It was all about my spiritual journey. Everything I needed to learn that I didn't. So I'm teaching other people. So I have courses. I'm building another course. I just closed down recently my one-on-one sessions, but I'm going to be reopening them up again to work one-on-one. And sometimes I have packages too, so you can work with me for a longer time, so we could do healing work as well as, I use the chart as a base, but then I use my psychic abilities and I do healing work, and then we get in and we clear personas and do all that fun stuff, all the shadowy fun stuff. So they could do that. I'm working on videos for everyone's North Node that'll be up. I'm working on a book. And I teach astrology 101 class. I'm going to be doing that in the fall again. So cool. There's lots of ways to work with me.
So cool. And you guys can follow her Healing Paige on Instagram. And we'll link that in the show notes. And then anything else I missed? Anything we missed?
I mean, I think we covered a lot. I feel like right now their heads are exploding.
Probably.
Don't worry, we got you. You're good.
You're good. You're good. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this with us.
Welcome.
I know
Thank you
I
for
felt
having
like
me.
tons of sighs of relief, so I'm sure everyone else is going to feel them too.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Okay. I'm just on cloud 9. I cannot even begin to thank Danielle enough for her time. I definitely needed all of that, from her Instagram comment to getting to meet up with her in person to the podcast episode to everything. And just know, if you guys are going through your Saturn return too and feeling different or feeling heavy with just being here and finding motivation for life, that you're definitely not alone in it. That has kind of been the story of my life these last month or so. I mean, I feel like it's always a cycle, and just really knowing that like it's just a cycle is really finding me a lot of comfort right now. Definitely, since recording this interview, giving myself a lot more freedom to just hang out in bed a little bit longer if that's what I feel called to do, or take a nap during the day if that's what I feel called to do, and taking that pressure off of needing to hustle, and really listening more to what my soul is telling me to do. So I hope that you kind of can find that same sort of peace and rhythm for yourselves. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and rate the podcast. It definitely helps me out a lot, and I'm forever grateful. And share it. If you guys want to share it on Insta stories, make sure to tag me at The Confused Millennial, tag Danielle at Healing Paige. That way we can go ahead and see what you guys are saying. I love hearing feedback, and we may reshare those as well. And thank you guys for going along on this journey with me. And so until next week, I will talk to you guys soon and keep up with you guys over on Instagram.